Welcome back, Arcade1up fans. Thanks for joining me. This is Brian, here ready to showcase my next cabinet from Arcade1up. With the current re-release of the Star Wars cabinet, I thought this was the perfect time to show off some of the cosmetic mods I've done to my original Star Wars arcade cabinet. This is not the re-release edition. This is the 2019 one, which I bought in 2020. And actually, this is the first arcade cabinet I purchased from Arcade1up, which got me on this crazy hobby, which I delve into making these things look as close as possible to the real arcade cabinet. Going back to this being my first cabinet, I will say I used to see Final Fight and Street Fighter in Walmart all the time, over $400. I thought it was ridiculous. They were tiny. Who wants to play in those things? No way. Come 2020 during COVID, I don't know how I discovered this. I think I was reading an article talking about this cabinet, 3/4 scale. My eyes were wide open, my jaw dropped. I was like, I gotta have this. I'm a Star Wars fan. This game was so very nostalgic to me. I played as a kid at Chuck E. Cheese all the time. Knowing that they had this cabinet in 3/4 scale, I found it for $378 at Best Buy, made the order, got it within a week. As I was putting this thing together, man, it was just awesome looking. The flood of memories were coming to me, and seeing the small things sitting in my living room, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Immediately fell in love with Arcade1up. And the rest is history. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the cosmetic mods. There's not too many on this cabinet I've done. There's some I still need to do, just haven't gotten to it. Sometimes I think of a new cosmetic mod when I haven't even been thinking about it. But let's start off with the marquee. Now this is the original marquee. I had been contemplating on replacing it with the snap-on ones from Sazwell's Arcade. I honestly think this marquee looks just fine, just like the Tempest one. There's a slight washout. It's not horrible. It was definitely one of the better ones at the time. The only thing that could be improved is the blacks can be blacker, and the orange and yellow, I guess, a little crisper and brighter. But honestly, this looks great. I was very fortunate where my marquee did not have the wire showing through. Maybe because I bought in 2020, not the first release in 2019 in the early fall. But, of course, having a newer marquee, there is one reason I did discover that A1up did slightly alter this marquee. I believe the X-Wing is a little bit smaller, but the positioning of the TIE Fighters and the Interceptor are different. Not by a whole lot, but if anybody out there knows it, these are different. And that is making me very hesitant to buy the new marquee. So that's on the list. Maybe I'll do it if I want to peel this thing off. For anybody that's never done that, these do peel right off easily. Just get a hairdryer or heat gun, blow it the whole time while you're peeling it. They'll leave no residue. You just stick a new one on or put the clip-on ones from Sazwell's. So that may happen, but for now, I'm happy with this marquee. It's very arcade accurate, minus the position of the TIE Fighters and a slightly smaller X-Wing. Now, another cosmetic mod that I just recently decided I wanted to do. I wish I had done for this video, but I do not. But with the new re-release, they did their T-molding all black. And I've always been contemplating on making the T-molding black, because on this cabinet there's actually two different T-moldings. The riser is a grayish silver with the blue T-molding on the cabinet, so that two-tone look. I was always debating, make it black, but now seeing the new re-release in black, I want to do it. So I either might try something new, or I'm going to find a paint to paint this, or I'm just going to use my black masking tape that I've been doing on some of my T-molding and the marquees of the Big Blue and Terminator, which works really nice. It has a nice texture to it. So that may be a future mod that I'm going to do sometime soon. Moving on to the flight yoke. If you'll notice, this flight yoke is different. Do you know what the difference is? Well, the color is different. Has the missing copyright, and it's metal. This is Glenn's flight yoke, GRS. This thing is a beast, and I highly recommend it if you have not bought it yet. You know, it's future-proof. You know, when this PCB goes and Arcade1up has no more PCBs to send you, put the PC in there, this flight yoke will hook up to it. You'll have your Star Wars games again and more. Like B. Kong's Star Wars upgrade that I never got to do. Too much money at the time. The cosmetic mod in here, though, was the Atari sticker I found. It was the perfect size to fit inside the square. At the time, it was like 2 years ago. I was trying to find one that would match right. I originally bought a full graphic from 99 Lives, which I still have, which I'm actually going to sell if somebody wants it. But, I don't know, it was like smaller, and it is textured. I just didn't like how it fit. It just seemed weird. And this already had the texture on it, like it was nice. I didn't see the be necessary to cover it up. I wish I didn't buy it. So this sticker was perfect. But one thing I've been wondering, maybe some of you out there can help me, is I want to know if Glenn's flight yoke got it right with the color, or did A1up? Glenn's is a darker gray, A1's is a lighter gray, and they have the serial number on it, which is missing from Glenn's. Honestly, I like Arcade1up's color scheme better, that lighter gray, but I have no idea if that one's arcade accurate or this is. If any of you know, let me know in the comments. It's been a while since I've seen this cab in person, the real one. But yeah, again, get this flight yoke. It's very nice. Got clicky buttons, and yeah, it's just solid. I still have the original one sitting inside for backup, of course. Moving on down, I covered up the Star Wars text with a graphic coin door from arcadegraphics.com. Again, you know, this has been on here now for a year or two, but at the time there wasn't a lot of good graphic coin doors. They looked very cartoony. Arcade Graphics, he eventually updated his. This one looks the most realistic. It's got a good shadow on it, a highlight. It's got that nice silver key lock. But the coin door buttons still look bad. Do not like that. I went on Google, I found the correct coin door light, the realistic one that looks like it's lit. I printed out the size that fits right inside these squares, and I was going to get them printed on vinyl and stick them right on there. Just never got to it. But now that, I'm not even going to go through with that, because I was very lucky enough to buy a Arcade1up 3D coin door. And the re-release, seeing it on there, it's just meant to be. And then I'll get these buttons lit up with Retro 530's button kit, light up button kit. But that's going to look great on here to go with the rest of the cabinet, for sure. So that will be done soon. Not looking forward to it though, because my kick panel was warped at the time when I put this cabinet together, which was a pain to put the side panels on. And this one doesn't just slide in nicely like the original cabinets. So that's going to be fun doing that. I'll also do the black masking tape over the riser. Now the front kick plate. I really like this graphic. But I like that new re-release graphic where it matches the kick plate. I'm going to see if maybe someone might be making that kick plate graphic now. I may replace it. I like that flow on the front. I think that'll be a good addition. We'll see. Now my biggest cosmetic mod in this cabinet, which I had in the title, is the 3D printed bezel. I was very fortunate to get this 3D bezel. I bought this over 2 years ago from a guy on the Facebook Arcade1up modding group. I was one of the lucky ones to buy it early when he was selling a small batch of them. I found out through one of B. Kong's live stream videos, and I jumped right on it. I might have been the first one to buy it, to be honest, because I posted it on Facebook. He didn't want, you know, he was like, don't mention my name too much, so I only gave the name out to a few people that asked. Is he still making them today? I don't know. I don't want to say his name on here. If you really want to know his name, I'll give it to you in the comment. Look for him on the Facebook Arcade1up modding group. Maybe he'll still be nice enough to make a couple here and there for people that watch this video. At the time I got for $50. That was over 2 years ago. So I'm not sure what he's selling it for it now, but just know that if you are able to get it from him again, it's going to look a little different from mine. I ended up doing more mods to his 3D printed design. His bezel comes in 3 pieces. Center piece here and 2 side pieces. The side pieces only come from the top and end right here at the bottom on each side. You'll see that mine extend down into the control panel. I got very crafty with this mod, which was very fun. It's the whole reason of this channel. I ended up cutting and sanding down the 2 side pieces and the centerpiece. First off, this centerpiece wasn't symmetrical. One side was a little longer and it wasn't mirrored. So like one of the triangles was up a little higher, one was a little lower, and was affecting the 2 side pieces. Maybe that's why he didn't make all of them, because he knew he didn't have it lined up and he just didn't want to make it anymore. I don't know. So I ended up having to cut down part of the side here. I actually cut out the whole triangle. The whole triangle is cut out of these. The triangle you're seeing here was made of, I couldn't reuse it either. It just wouldn't have looked right, because it would just go right inside the triangle I cut. These 2 triangles that you're seeing now are more prominent, sticking out, because his triangles were a little more embedded into the plastic, so they weren't raised up as much as like these things. This is actually just straight up white foam board. Now that I think of it, I don't know why I didn't buy black, because I had this laying around, that's why. I cut these triangles out to the same size, used the triangles I cut out and measured it to be exact. So I made it more symmetrical, glued them on, so that this was in place perfectly. This is just attached by using Velcro. That's all you needed. I used a Dremel. I dremeled out little holes on the other side of this thing so I can have the Velcro flush to the screen, so it wasn't having a gap in between. I did the same thing for these side pieces. Now the 2 side pieces to this 3D bezel, I used shoe molding wood, a little piece of wood I found, and a prescription medicine container. One of those orange bottles that you get from your pharmacy. Because it looked like piping, which I extended this piping right here. You'll see the different texture. This has more grooves in it. This is more smooth. That's nice too. His throughout, it came out black like this. I did not have to paint this. He printed out this color. It has a little texture to it, which is nice. But the prescription bottles, since I cut these things, this is a separate piece. This piece right here would have been up to here. And then this piece right here would have stopped right here. So I cut that piece off, which is here. And then this little piece was cut from here. I had to then angle cut these 2 pieces and get them to be flush. I think you could see here. I made this as flush as I could. There's a little gap there. My gluing could be better. But took a bit so that it could fit the angle of this control panel going down in. I add on the shoe molding here, which is a good roundness. Perfect size to line up with these 2 pieces. Glued them together. And there's a little piece of wood to extend this. Add onto there. I had to angle cut that too, like you'd put molding up on a wall. Color matched it, painted it. Color matched it, I had to paint that. Color matched these wood pieces. Glued it all together. So this is a whole piece now. Same thing, color matched the prescription things. I glued it onto there. Extended the pipe, which is going up to the speaker panel. So now, like the original arcade, this whole thing goes from the top all the way down to the control panel. And it came out awesome. I almost wanted to send this to the guy who made these and see if he can reprint it this way, so it's all one piece. But it's been holding up, staying on there. I really wish at the time I recorded myself to do this and show everyone what I did. But too late now. But it's pretty, if you're crafty, go for it. If you end up getting this. Or if you got a 3D printer, make your own. I don't have one. If I did, I'd make it myself. One day. But I like the crafty part. So yeah. That 3D bezel really makes this cabinet come alive, like the original. And I think definitely adding the coin door and having that would bring the whole thing together. That's really it for cosmetic mods in this cabinet. Like I said, not too many. Really not much to do here. A1up did a really great job in this cabinet, looking the most accurate. Right down to the original yoke. You know, I still have that yoke. It's sitting inside for just to have. But yeah, everything else is good. The side panels are good. Height is good. I'm just going to do those, T-molding is next. Put the new coin door on and... Sorry, not T-molding. I don't want to, I would put real T-molding, but nah. Black masking tape. Put the 3D coin door on. And maybe I'll add a new graphic, front riser graphic that matches the kick plate. If there's one out there. We'll see. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I will place a link for the coin door graphic and for the Atari graphic that I found, the yoke. And if you want to know the guy's name who made these 3D printed bezels, let me know. I'll give you it. Look for him in the Arcade1up modding group. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. And I really appreciate you watching. This is a great hobby. I hope you enjoy this video and helped inspired you to do more of your Star Wars cabinet. My next cabinet that I'll be showcasing, I don't know, maybe I'll show Burger Time. As for right now, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Take it easy.